On this week's episode, Dan makes his way to Michigan for Pumpkin Carving Palooza 2019. All this and more on this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Oh yeah. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We are good for your ears. I'm Dan. You can find me at RFS Dan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Gone to the Snow Dogs and Snow Dogs Vlogs.
So today, guys, this episode's a little different. A little different than all the other episodes.
We probably sound better.
So much clearer.
Yeah.
And guys, and at home, don't get used to this. This is a treat. This isn't an every week thing. We'll be back to our same audio next week.
Crappy audio,
Yes.
crappy audio. No, I'm just kidding.
And why do we have such good audio, you guys ask? Well, because I am coming to you live to tape and from beautiful Alpena, Michigan, where I've been here for a few days now.
Hey, wait, that's where I'm at too.
Oh, yeah. I'm at Jess's house and Jamie's house and Memphis's house and Kira's house. I'm here in Michigan. Long time no see.
Right? It's been, what? It was like not even a week?
It was like 3 days after Disneyland.
Right? Oh
Yep.
my gosh, we're insane.
I was trying to do the math. We've hung out for living on, opposite sides of the country. We've hung out like a little over 20 days this month, or this year, I mean.
It was a lot of time this year.
That's a lot of time. I'm sick of you.
Yeah, you can go home now.
Yeah, it'll be a long time before I'm back.
Right? Well, it is, I mean, realistically, it's been 3 years, so.
Right. That's true. That's about average.
Yep.
I'm here like almost once per Olympic. I'm on the Olympic routine. Yes.
Yeah, that's about it.
And
That's
I'm also
about right.
catching up to you on the score of how many times I've been here to visit you.
You have beat me on length all at once. By
Right.
the time you leave, you'll have been here longer than I've ever stayed in California.
I'm here so long that I have to pay rent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bill's coming.
Your rent is due.
Yeah, my rent is due. So every year, Jess carves pumpkins at her house, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know it's a big pumpkin party with how many pumpkins this year, maybe?
I think we bought over 100,
Yeah.
but we won't know how many we actually have until we're done.
Yeah, so I didn't want to miss out on that. Every year, Jess is like, you got to come out for pumpkin carving. Got to come out for pumpkin carving. Everybody comes out, and this year I had an opportunity. I had a little window to make it happen, and we did with like no delay. Like it happened like right away. Like let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, here I am. Everybody's social media went from me at home to me in the cold.
They're like, wait, how did you get there?
Yeah, it's been really beautiful here, actually.
It worked out really good, too, because we had, our other friends that were flying in the same day, so we only had to
Yes.
go to the airport once. Like, I don't know how we managed to, like, pull that off and make it work, but we made it work, and now you're a slave to carving pumpkins until
Yes.
we're done.
Which has been pretty fun, actually, so far. I've carved more pumpkins now than all the pumpkin equivalents in my life.
In your entire life
My
ever?
entire life. And I've only ever carved with those traditional like knives and stuff, but I got to use a Dremel tool, guys. It makes your pumpkining so much better.
Kidding?
Yeah, like my pumpkin skills were like a 7 right off the bat with the Dremel tool.
There are going to be so many people out there right now that are like, wait, you use a Dremel tool on pumpkins? I try to explain to people all the time that, like, we actually do use power tools and battery operated tools. Like, we don't just use little saws, and a lot of people don't. They just can't picture it. They don't understand it. So
You have to, though. There's so many pumpkins.
Yes.
If this was Little House on the Prairie, there's no way they could carve 100 pumpkins. Well, there was nothing to do back then, so maybe, but their hands would fall off.
when we first started, because we've been doing this as long as I've been married, so 17 years. We've been doing this 17 years. When we first started, we did everything like everybody, like you knew how to carve pumpkins. You'd use a regular knife and cut the lids off. We scooped things out with metal spoons. We did everything with the little pumpkin carving kits. I don't even know if we had the pumpkin carving kits way back then. Like, I think we actually just used regular like steak knives and stuff, and you
Right.
carved jack-o'-lanterns. And some of us had talent, not me. Greg was always really good, and
Yeah.
Jamie's really good at doing like hand-drawn carvings and stuff. Greg's good at doing like three-dimensional things. Jamie's done many times where he's like drawn patterns on, but I've never really been good at that. And for the first few years that we put on a display, we did everything very old school. It took longer than it takes us now to carve less pumpkins. Like when we would do like 30 or 40, it would take us the same amount of time as it's taking us to do over 100.
Oh yeah, and your hands would just hurt.
Oh, it was crazy. Every night it was like your wrists would kill. You'd have to put ice on your wrists, and it was bad. It was nothing like it is now. I mean, you've been carving for what is this? 2 days? 3 days?
I think so.
3 days?
It's all- it's
3
all-
days. We've got 2 days left.
It's all a big mush. I think it's 3 days.
Do your hands hurt?
No, I feel good. I thought that's all you think when you watch all the videos and stuff everybody carving. It's like, oh, that's just carpal tunnel pumpkin carving.
When you use the right tools, it works well.
And it's fun. I'll tell you guys at home, it is fun. And what have I carved as a pumpkin in pumpkin wise so far? I carved a Lightning McQueen.
Yep.
I carved I carved Rainbow Dash for My Little Pony.
Oh yeah, you did.
I carved a creepy clown pumpkin thing.
It's like a cat clown looking
It
thing.
was like, yeah. And
what else?
I carved a White Claw. Oh yeah. Yes. There is no Halloween without the claw. It was Clawmageddon down there. I did pretty well on that one. You guys will see the pictures of that one in our Facebook group.
Yeah, or our Instagram.
Yes.
That needs to go up
I'll
on
put
Instagram.
it up on our Instagram today. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. I got to go pick the pumpkins.
Oh yeah, that was something you'd never done before. We showed you where pumpkins come from, not the grocery store.
That is something that you'll hear the rest of this podcast that is something you have not done before. We'll go through the list of all the mundane things to you that I've never done before. So we need to find pumpkins. It's like my first day here, and there's this field, and it's just got a bunch of pumpkins in it, and they're like hung on this pumpkin vine, kind of like grapes. And they're right up next to these like cornfields, like from Children of the Corn or like a scary movie.
Yeah, it's all movie props. That's all it was.
Yeah, so it was really neat. Yeah, it was really neat. So like walking over to the cornfields, looking at the corns. There was no scarecrow, but all the corn.
No, there was no scarecrow, but did you notice that there was like plastic bags and like a hoodie hanging on a stake?
Yeah.
That's pretty much does the same thing as a scarecrow.
I just figured somebody left their belongings behind.
No, that actually keeps the deer, well, for the most part, keeps the deer away from stuff.
Okay, that makes more sense. So we ran around. I grabbed pumpkins. We were searching for pumpkins. It was so fun. I did take a little video of that.
Yes.
While you sat in your car.
Yeah. And I'm like, grab that one. Well, you and Greg were kind of running around. I'm like, I'm just going to drive and you guys can pick pumpkins.
It was great. And here was my first City Mouse mistake, guys. I wore the Vans with the Nintendo controllers on them. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen those. Yeah, those are no longer with us.
Yeah, that's not really farm field shoes.
Right. But then I forgot that when I was here 3 years ago, that I left all my winter clothes here. So now I have boots.
Yeah, you have big boots too.
I know. Like overkill for the time of year, right?
Right.
The weather's been nice. It's been crisp.
That's the right word for it,
Yeah, it's very crisp. I'm not used to that crisp weather more than like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's what it feels like all day long.
I think that's the word everybody uses to describe it, and a lot of people don't understand what it means. Like if you're not from around here and you've never experienced like a crisp, cool fall weather, I think that's why people like it so much though, is because it's just, I don't know, it feels different. It's just clean. It feels clean and everything smells like leaves. And,
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
And rain.
It was so beautiful. It's fall colors here, and I've never really seen the fall colors to this degree. And when we were driving from Traverse City across Alpena, which is across the mitten, like east to west or west to east, you could see just miles and miles of untapped trees. And the color range was so beautiful, from like oranges to reds.
I feel like you were like a little kid with your head just, you're like eyes glued to the window. You're like, look at all the things.
Everywhere I look, it's a Thomas Kincaid painting or a beautiful photo of like, you could be here right now. It's like it looks like the places you wish for.
Like all the touristy places that you should visit here.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
Yes, it looks like it.
And see, I see it all the time, so I don't feel like I notice it like that. But not that I don't appreciate it, but I don't feel like I see it like that. I just see it like this is where we live. This is just home.
Right. And here the pavement to grass ratio is like way more grass than pavement.
We don't live in Cement City.
Not at all. So it was so beautiful. There's no traffic on the road. It's just 2 lanes all the way to your house.
And by 2 lanes, he means 1 lane going each way.
Right. Yes, 1 lane each way. Nobody's got cars. Everybody's got like Jeeps.
Well, we can't survive up here in cars. They won't make it through the snow.
That's true. That's a very good point. And before we get too far away from the topic, we went on somebody's property and just started picking pumpkins. Like and then when we were done, we drove to the front of this dude's farm, and there was a toolbox with a slot in it for money, and it wasn't locked to anything. And we just shoved money in there, and then off we went.
Yep.
You get a little high sign from the guy out the window.
People up here, we still have the honor system for a lot of things, and it's sad that so much of the country doesn't have that. Yeah. But we do.
There's no honor anything in my town. Everything's. Let me tell you, people. Okay, so I go into the house. The doors aren't locked. I'm locking the doors, and then everybody's all like, "Who's locking the doors?" Like it's a bad thing. I go to Jess's Jeep to get something out of it, and where are the keys?
In the Jeep.
In the Jeep. Go over to the deli. Where are the keys?
Right.
In the register. I'm surprised the deli was even locked.
Yeah, well, yeah, we do have to lock that.
Oh my gosh.
Otherwise, people would just go in there and make their own food, but they'd probably leave the money on the counter before they left.
They would take change where applicable. They would tip 20%. You guys from the West Coast where I'm from, like, you have no idea. There's not a day of the week or a time of night where there's so few people out that I could compare it to this town being on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. The Home Depot's got no line. We've never stood in a line.
No, that's not true. The gas station today, there was like 2 people in front of us.
Yeah, and that was the most we've ever been into.
At the gas station.
Which is nice because it's slow. Like, it's slowed down here. There's no stress.
Yeah, I think that's kind of and I mean, we live far enough north in Michigan. If you were in southern Michigan, it'd be a lot more like what you're talking about. You know, like there's more city down there. It's more cement city. There's more people. There's more stuff going on down there. But up here, I don't know. I feel like it's just, that's why people come up north. We're a tourist town. That's why people come here to visit and de-stress. We don't move slow. We don't move fast.
Right.
We just take our time doing everything.
I just feel like people in the world would pay a lot of money to have the experience of being left alone, yet the cost of living here is so inexpensive. Even beer is about $2 cheaper, like on average, for like a 12-pack.
Yeah, our cost of living is definitely, well, it's a lot cheaper than where you're at.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Everybody here is so nice.
Yeah. We all wave at each other. You haven't really ridden with us like out in the country yet, but when we go out, like, I don't know if you remember that or if it even happened when you were here in the wintertime, but like when we go out to my mom and dad's farm, even the people we don't know, everybody you drive by out in the country, everybody waves.
Yep.
It's just what you do.
They're not in a rush. They say hi.
Yep.
So we're hanging out. I get here and I see Memphis and Kira, and they're super happy to see me. That felt good. I got a warm welcome for them. Lots of puppy hugs. Memphis looks the same. Kira, 3-4 times bigger.
Yeah.
Man, she's so big and full of energy. There is no stopping her at all.
Legs for days.
Well, does that mean she's just going to be super tall?
I think she's going to be tall. Yeah, I think she's going to be taller than Memphis. I don't think she'll be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think she'll be as stout. Memphis is a little bit more stout. I think Kira will still be really narrow, but I do think she's going to be taller than her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see it. So saw them. We went over to Myers, and here's more things.
Oh, you said it like a Michigander.
Did I?
We went over to Myers.
Myers.
There's no S.
Well,
but that's a Michigan thing. A lot of people say we go to Kmart's and Walmart's and Myers.
That's weird because it's the Walmart, the Kmart, but I would say Myers because I feel like it's a person's name. Is that true?
Yeah. But there's no S, so it's just Meyer.
So
but you said it right for being. I try not to use the S's, but that is the correct way of saying it as a Michigander.
It's harder to say it like that. Meyer. So we went to Meyer so I could get a bunch of stuff because I didn't want to check it on the airplane. And I get up to the register. And there's no line, by the way. There's no waiting on aisle. It doesn't matter. There's just no waiting. And you don't have to pay for your bags. You don't have to pay 10 cents per bag.
Yep, we don't have to pay for bags.
It was free bags.
We don't care about the environment and saving the turtles as much as California does.
Right, not yet. It'll catch on. It'll catch on. It's very West Coast right now. So the lady that was working there at I was doing self-checkout, and there's that lady that kind of watches all the self-checkout kiosks, and I was explaining like, dude, we don't have bags, and I don't even need a bag. So I stacked up all my stuff, and then I dropped my shampoo on the ground.
Oh yeah, you did. I forgot about that.
I dropped my shampoo on the ground. It blew up everywhere.
I'm like, this is why we use bags.
Then I could just see her looking like that. Oh, you West Coast people think you're so fancy and fast with your pumpkin spice lattes and your Kardashians.
Yeah.
Now look what you're doing. So I cleaned that up. Because everybody's so nice, and I felt bad.
Yeah, you did. She had all the stuff, and you took it from her, and you're like, I'll clean it for myself.
I did. It was probably the highlight of her day, since there was really not much happening there. So then we were back at the store. I think that night we went back over.
It was either
to Meyer.
that night or it was the next day. I can't remember, but I know we went again because we forgot something or we needed something else. And that's another thing people don't realize. I can go to Meijer every day because it's like 4 minutes from my house, and there's no lines.
Right, there's no lines, so it makes it easy. There's no lines. So we're there on one of the nights, and this customer comes in, and he's like, "Excuse me," and I'm like thinking like, "Ooh, here it comes! Like something good's gonna happen." And he turns to the other dude, and he's like, "I was here early today, and this got in my bag, and it's not mine." And it looked like, I don't know, it could have been chapstick or eyeliner.
I think it was eyeliner. I do think that's what it was.
He came back to return it, like just to give it back to the person. Like,
it all goes back to that honor system we were talking about.
But he had to like get in his car, make a conscious effort of it, use his gas money to come and return it. It was crazy.
Maybe he only lives 4 minutes away as well.
That's true, huh? And you know what? Gas was $4.45 when I left, and I took a photo. This is how dumb we are. I took a photo of the gas station sign because it was like $2.50 or $2.80,
Yeah, I think so.
$2.80 a gallon.
Yeah, I think it was $2.40 or something like that this morning.
Before I leave, I'm gonna fill my body up and I'm gonna hold it in me. And when I get back, I'm just gonna like spit it into my gas tank. It's worth it.
You'll have like the 5-gallon gas tank carry-on. This is my carry-on. They'll be like, now you're a terrorist.
Right? I'm like, but you don't understand, sir. The price of gasoline. It'll pay for my trip. If I bring back that, it'll pay.
Right?
It'll pay for my
You
trip.
sell it for $1 more. Look at all those pennies on the dollar.
Oh, we went to the deli. Oh my gosh, Take 5 Deli's the best.
We've been there a couple times.
Your brother made me the best roast beef sandwich. I don't know what it was called, but
Oh, the first day you had the smoked pork.
yeah, oh, it was so good. He made it himself.
Yep.
He smoked the pork. Everything's so good there. No corners are cut at that place. I loved it last time I was here too.
Yeah.
Last time I was here too.
We didn't have smoked pork and stuff like that the last time you were here. That's definitely a new thing that they've added.
The smoked pork, yeah. It's been really good though.
Yeah. And then you had that again today, but you had the different one.
I had a different version of it.
Yeah. They have like 3 versions of it that they make. The one has, I don't know what it is, but it's like barbecue sauce and onions, and that's the one you had.
That one was really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been fun here so far. Well, we started carving pumpkins. I didn't know how that was going to go at first.
It's going.
If you get 4 or 5 people, you can do 15, 20 pumpkins a night.
And that's usually the plan. Like, the plan is always to let everybody know that it's happening, and then everybody just comes over when they want to. Like, we always have, like, a starting time each day. Like, today, because there's a little bit of work and stuff going on, like, Greg's at work till 5 o'clock. Today, the starting time is usually about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And then people just kind of come and go. I mean, you've seen it all night long.
Yep. It goes late into the night.
We're very fortunate that people want to help us put on the show because... I mean, carving over 100 pumpkins is not easy.
I mean, you have a lot of good friends that come by. And everybody's so fun to hang with.
Yeah.
Everybody's so fun to hang out with. So we've been doing that in like the afternoon. Like, soon as we're hurrying up recording now because as soon as we're done here,
we gotta carve pumpkins.
Pumpkin carving time. What else did we do over here? We went to an auction dinner.
Oh yeah, we went to the Alpena County Animal Facility silent dinner and auction.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and we won stuff, and Greg won stuff.
That's right.
Wow, I feel like this is all happening like like a week or two ago, where this all happened like just a few days ago.
It's Tuesday. This happened just on Friday.
Friday?
Yes. So we get there. Let me explain to you guys. It's like in a church banquet hall.
Yep.
And so it's really big, and there's 100 items there.
At least.
You guys put that together really nice.
Yeah, there was at least 100 silent auction items. We got a lot of amazing donations for that.
It's interesting. It's all like work boots and tools and things and stuff applicable to like country living.
Stuff people will actually bid on around here.
People were bidding the highest amounts on like, here's like 10 square feet of rock, or here's like 40 yards of cement. And people were loving that. They're like, oh yeah, more limestone? I'm in. I'm in.
That was funny that you didn't understand that. Like, and then who was it? My friend Chris showed you a picture of his muddy driveway, and he's like, "Here's why I need all this gravel."
Here's where it's gonna go. I'm like, that makes more sense. So we're there. There's drinks, and everybody kept giving me drink tickets.
Yep. It wasn't open bar, but I feel like that's pretty much what they were doing. Like, everybody had drink tickets and they just passed them out. Because I think if we would have advertised it as open bar, it would have appealed to a different type of crowd.
Right.
So it was you got 2 drink tickets included in with your ticket to the event.
Okay.
But then, they just kept handing them out anyway.
They just kept handing me out drinks. I have like 8 of them right here still left in my pockets. I'm gonna use these.
You go turn them in.
I'm gonna turn them.
Go over to Sneakers and be like, "Can I turn these in here, please?"
Will you give me a beer? It was nice. Everybody was really super cool.
The food was delicious.
The food was amazing.
Yeah.
I love the food.
We bought tickets for they did a raffle on a car lease. That was like a long time thing. Like, we'd been selling those tickets for a few months. So they pulled the ticket winner for the car lease, for the Jeep lease.
Right.
And the girl that won it was there. So that was really cool. We were hoping that it would work out that way, that whoever won it was actually at the dinner. So we did that. They did the 50-50, which we all bought tickets, didn't everybody at our table bought tickets? Because because Greg bought 20, then Greg bought 6, I think.
Yeah.
He bought 6. I bought 20. You bought a couple. Chris and Heather bought 20. So everybody at our table bought tickets. But Greg bought the first few.
Yes.
And then Greg won the 50-50 by what, one? He had the number right before me.
He had the number right before you, and I was all excited because I was like, oh my gosh, I see the number like 2 after that. Well, let's just go back 2, and it was Greg's.
Yep.
So he was stoked. That was so fun.
Yeah, he won. What was it, like $580?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So he was fanning out his monies.
Yeah.
He was making it rain.
And then there was this really cool like cat tree thing there, like this handmade cat tree. And after he won the money, because, you know, most people when they win a 50-50 at an event like that, they just give it back immediately.
Right.
But Greg instead was like, I'm just going to use it to bid on the cat tree. Pretty much the same thing. It's going to go back. But he didn't win. That I don't remember what it went for, but once it got up over like $300, he was like, I'm out.
$300.
Yeah. I know it got over that because as soon as it hit that was when he was like, I'm done. But
it came from a lady, and I overheard the lady talking. She had like 6 or 7 of them.
Oh yeah, Susan Weeks.
And now
Susan
she's
Weeks
got 8.
Yeah.
It was really, really pretty. And then the creme de la creme came up.
Yeah. So they had one of the live auction items was it was a Detroit Red Wings package. It was $400 in Ticketmaster gift cards,
yes,
which is nice because you can use it on anything.
Right.
Like, you could use it on whatever you want.
Like Taylor Swift concerts or anything like that.
Or not. So there was the $400 in Ticketmaster gift cards. There was a Jimmy Howard signed Red Wings jersey, a Danny DeKeyser puck, a Dylan Larkin puck. Both the pucks were signed.
Right.
A team signed hat, and then the Dylan Larkin bobblehead.
The team signed hat was really cool. You could only get the bobblehead at the home game.
Yes.
So that was a good that was a really good package.
Yeah. So when we first got there, we looked at that quite a bit, and I think I took a picture of it and sent it to Jamie, and I said, I'm going to win this. And yeah, so it was a live auction, and we watched 2 people go back and forth. I think they started it at 300, nobody bid, and it went all the way back down to 100, and then the bidding war happened. And it was just those 2 people.
You stayed quiet.
I didn't do anything. It was like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and as soon as they were done, and I let that guy do the going once, going twice, because he was almost ready to say it, and then I raised my hand, and nobody bid against me. Like, that was it.
Everybody got fatigued. They got bid fatigue, and then you came in and crushed it. I got good footage of that too.
I almost feel like they didn't know what happened.
Yeah, you won.
Like, I feel like it was going back and forth, and then that guy gave up, and he was like, I'm done, and then this guy thought he was going to win it, and then I just came in and stole it.
Yeah.
I feel like I stole it.
You came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, but regardless, I won the Detroit Red Wings package at the auction.
Carried it all the way out there, and now it's here.
Yeah, it's going to get hung up in the basement somewhere. We'll have to hang it on the wall, and that was pretty exciting. That was the one thing I wanted. So
yeah, and it was good because it was already framed. It's already ready to go.
That's actually the first time I've won anything at a live auction. I've bid on lots of things at live auctions, but things always tend to go for way more than what I'm willing to pay for. But
yeah,
I mean, realistically, it went for $600.
About that,
and there was $400 in the gift certificates alone.
Well, that jersey is a pro jersey, so that's a $200 jersey right away, no matter what name's on the back of it. So it was good value. It was a good value, and all that stuff was donated. So the money's the money. So it was successful. Everybody raised a lot of money.
I don't know how much we raised. I was hoping to get the number today, but they haven't finished figuring everything out yet. But it was quite a bit.
It's quite a bit.
I'm going to say they probably over $20,000.
I would think so.
Easily.
I would think so easily.
Yeah.
Even with just the car and then that. And there was a barbecue, some nice tables and stuff like that.
And then there was one of the people that own multiple restaurants here locally.
Yes.
Mr. John Benson. So John Benson won the lottery tree. Had all the lottery tickets on it. And so what it was like a kind of like a 50-50 raffle, but not 50-50. You bought raffle tickets and you won a lottery tree, and it had a lot of tickets on it.
It did. I think it had 100 tickets on it.
100 tickets? Is that what the site? So 100 lottery tickets on it, and he won it. Well, he's a pretty well-known guy in town, and when they gave it to him, he said, "Give it back and do it as a live auction item." So they went through all the live auction items, and at the very end, they start auctioning off this lottery tree. And who was bidding on it? John Benson. The same guy that won the tree and donated it back, bid against everybody else that was bidding on the tree. And I don't remember what it went for, but it was stupid. It was it
was like $600.
It was over $600.
Yeah,
and
kept bidding.
guess who won the tree back?
Yep. He was definitely the hero for doing that.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah. He's so funny. He'll come into auctions like that. I've seen him do that at other nonprofit events, and he never gets a bidder number because everybody knows who he is. So he never has a number. Things are just written. He writes his name next to things. And he'll stand in the back, and he doesn't sit at the table because he was standing behind us. He just stands back there and he just raises one hand, and that's all he does. But people know John's going to spend money at those events. So.
Yeah, and then I ate into the profits a little bit by drinking all that Labatt Blue because we don't have that.
Yeah, you did all the Canadian beer.
Yeah, I'm like, could I get another one of those, please?
Those are probably pretty cheap anyway.
It tasted like Budweiser.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap beer.
It tasted like Budweiser, but the food was good, the snacks were good, everything was good. It was a successful night. I had a lot of fun, and it's the first time in my life I drank in a church. Welcome to Country Mouse.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I looked over at the dude a couple times on the wall, and he glanced back down on me, just kind of like cheers.
We've been there before because my my buddy got married there.
Oh, that was so funny. And what's up with people in your town with the two names, John Benson?
Well, that's his actual
Jay
last
Benson?
name. His name
Everything's
is actually,
two names here. It's a John Carl or
We're slow. We have to be able to get the words out so we know who we're talking to.
buy you some thinking time.
Yeah.
So if I moved here, I would need a 2-word name, but nothing rhymes with Dan.
No, not really.
I'd have to change my name.
Yeah.
So we did that, and it was great. And the weather here has been awesome. It's not freezing like last time I was here, so it makes moving around the town a lot easier. I noticed.
It's been between the 30s and 50s since you've been
here,
here.
But it's all day long.
Right.
Yeah, but it feels just refreshing. You go out, you wake up when you're out there.
Yeah.
So it's been good. So I have not froze yet. It did rain a bit.
Yep. It rained a little bit almost every day except the one day.
Right. I think we're worried that it's gonna rain on Halloween.
Yeah, we got our fingers crossed that they're gonna be wrong and it's not gonna rain.
Right. Yeah.
You never know though, because when I look at the weather, it's like it's gonna rain, and then you wake up and it doesn't rain. So I'm hoping for Halloween. It can rain all day. I would like it to stop at 5:00, and then it can start again at 10, and I'd be okay.
You'd be okay with that.
Just make that happen. Somebody out there, please just make that happen.
Open up a window real quick for us to have Halloween.
We just need that little circle.
What else did we do? Oh, we went outside and set up all the Halloween decorations because Jess has this machine that syncs songs to the movements of the lights.
Yeah, Jamie built a giant pumpkin face that we use it's called a lightorama, and it goes with the music and makes it look like the pumpkin singing, and all the lights go to the tune of the music, and that I had the program, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we drug that out. We decorated stuff for Halloween. There was bales of hay.
Straw. That's straw.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a difference. Don't ask me. I don't know. Jamie knows. I don't know the difference between straw and hay, but I know there is a difference. I think one, and I don't know which is which, but one of them is for animals to eat and one of them is for bedding.
Ah, okay.
But I don't know which is which.
Well, this one at home, guys, was the brown square thing from Minecraft. So I think it's hay.
I don't know. No, I think it's straw out there.
Okay.
But I think straw's the one for bedding. Straw's for bedding, hay is for eating. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to eat it, but that's for animals to eat.
So we got some of that stuff. It looks very festive. The fall colors are pretty.
We went jeeping.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we go jeeping. Last time we went jeeping, it was kind of we just sludged through the snow.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun too. But there's only one color, and it's snow. It's snow. We saw an owl, and it was all fun.
Yep.
So this time we go jeeping. And it's a little bit more different because the fall colors are there, which, again, every road we go down looks like a freaking painting. Every road we go down is just beautiful. The trees are there.
The leaves are, over the road, so it's, that perfect, calendar photo.
And, again, there's nobody inside. No, we passed by one person. It was this older man and his wife, and they were using a gun to shoot plates. They were like, we're not doing dishes anymore. Our dishwasher machine's broken. Oh, take them out back and shoot them up. So we heard gunshots. But the gunshots were boom, boom. I'm used to pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of that here.
And it was beautiful. So we went around in the mud. We went up and down the hills. And I'll tell you, that Jeep really can take on anything.
We drove up on some huge rocks.
Huge rocks. And I'm sure you guys have seen that. If not, hit up our Instagrams.
Yeah.
They're all over our Instagrams. We drove up a rock. I was mildly nervous for a minute. But the Jeep made quick work of it. Jamie's so good at it.
You stayed in the Jeep.
Yeah, yep. I wasn't going to miss this.
Yep. I got out to take pictures and you stayed in the Jeep.
I stayed in there, and that was so fun. So we parked the Jeep on some rocks, and it just sat there, and we hung out, and it was pretty. The sounds are different than any of my sounds. I can't tell if somebody's coming through the bushes to get me. or if it's just the leaves, the leaves falling.
Could be a bear.
Slender Man.
Could be Slender Man.
It could be Slender Man. So we did that. There was a lake there. Oh my gosh, it's everything. It was like Dawson's Creek. There was just a pretty little lake. We checked that out for a bit. We walked around a little bit, and it's nice. I didn't see any bugs or anything like that. There was nothing alive. Yeah, they're all hiding. They're all hiding out. So we did that for a while. Lots of bumps.
Yeah. It's what's funny is because we went back out there the other day with Matt. We went out with him, and they have, I don't know what they graded the road. So the road was already different, which is why Jamie's Jeep is dirty. They loosened all the dirt on the road and like graded the road.
Oh, okay.
But we also saw 3 trucks while we were out there. And we made the comment, we're like, we just talked about how we never see anybody out here. And then we come out here again 2 days later, and there's like 3 trucks out here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were doing because it was the middle of the week. So they might have just been out there doing the same thing we were and taking pictures.
Just taking pictures and jeeping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I take a lot of pictures of the same thing.
It's like, look, trees. Look, trees.
Yeah, this one's got more red to it. This one's got more brown to it.
I do the same thing though when I live here. I'm always, whenever Jamie and I are out, I'm always like, you gotta stop. And he stops, and I get out and take a picture, and it's like 5 minutes later, you gotta stop again.
Everything's a photo shoot,
Yeah.
I'll be standing out in the kitchen and looking out the window, and I'll see Kira in the backyard, and it's just like, that's a postcard.
Yeah.
Everybody has a barn. It's all red.
Ours is a garage. It's not a barn.
Is that what it is, a garage?
Ours is a garage. But yeah, lots of people out here have barns.
Yes.
Lots of barns, lots of pole barns. A lot of those barns have animals in them.
Yes. I have seen some animals. Let's see. When we first got here, we were coming from one side of your state to the other.
Yep.
We saw a bald eagle. My first time I'd seen a bald eagle. It looks just like it does on TV. It's huge. It's big. And the color, the whites are really white on that thing.
That thing was close, too. Because it was in the center of the road eating roadkill when we came up on it. And it just took off, and it flew like along the side of the road next to us.
Yeah, that was cool. I've never seen one of those before.
And I did the same alert that I do every time I see an animal. I'm like, look, a bald eagle, a bald eagle. It's like, birds just run together. I did the same thing every time I see any animal. It's like, look, 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 look.
And yes, when it flies away, you can hear music coming out of it. It's like, God bless the USA. And it's just flying around. And I'm like, oh, that's majestic. I saw some real squirrels. We have like...
Real squirrels?
We have discount squirrels in my town that like their tails are kind of sad, and they don't look like traditional squirrels. Here, they're fluffy. They all look like they have fur coats on.
Right.
Yeah, so we saw a black squirrel.
Yeah, we saw multiple black squirrels, actually. And then I saw a gray squirrel today.
Yeah.
So there was a big fluffy gray squirrel today.
And that was cool. We saw some foxes.
Yes, 2 foxes.
Yes.
There's not too far from our house, there's a fox that had a bunch of kits. I think she had 3. So if you drive like one road up from our house, she's been there all summer. So I've seen the baby foxes as well. But a lot of times when you go just after dark, when the cars start to slow down on that road, you'll see her. She'll come out on the road and she'll be walking around, and we saw her twice.
It was cool. It was like seeing Bigfoot, because the night before we were talking to one of your friends, and you guys were just talking, and one of the conversations was, you see the fox down on 43? Nope, not yet. I heard there was one down there. Yeah, there's a fox on 43 with its pups, and maybe we'll see it one night. And then sure enough, the next night we were driving at night, and it was there, and it was just eating or hanging out on the side of the road.
Yep. They don't travel, like foxes and stuff like that, especially when they have pups. They don't travel super far from their dens. So if you see it and you know that they're there, there's a good chance if you watch for it, you'll see it again.
Yeah, and you're right.
And we saw it. It was there.
And Jess is the deer whisperer, by the way, because deer do come flying across the road like on TV.
And what did we say? We stopped, and what did I say?
You're like, all right, there's one, but whenever there's one, there's more.
Yep.
And then there was more, and then you're like, okay, and the mom's gonna be there, and then sure enough, like, and these are spread apart by 10 or 15 seconds, just enough that you think nothing's happening.
Yep.
And then you smash into deer, so you just gotta sit and wait.
Yep.
But you called it every time deer ran by. You called how many were gonna come out and when. You're like, it's gonna come another one. And
we've been here long enough to know. You always, when there's one, there is always, anybody that lives in deer country knows that. You see one blast across the road, you can't just keep going, oh, I missed it. Because Jamie and I were out on that's one of those same roads, and we had a deer that ran out, and we just barely missed hitting it, and the second one ran out and hit the side of the Jeep.
Oof. Wow, really?
Yes.
That's so scary.
Ran right into the side of the Jeep.
That is so scary.
It was super, it was super snowy, so we could barely see anything, and we just barely missed the first one, and the second one hit the side of us. She was fine and the Jeep was fine, but it nailed the side of the Jeep.
Wow. There's still some animals that aren't checked off my scavenger hunter list. Like, I still need to see a raccoon.
Oh,
I have
right.
questions for the raccoon.
Right.
Because to me, it's just one raccoon. So I have questions like, why were you at my house? It's like Santa. It's just the one. Like, hey, man, like, what were you doing at my house? I want to see, I still want to see a skunk. Like, I want to interact with a skunk.
I don't think you want to interact with a skunk as much as you think you do.
I have a pretty good likability rate.
I mean, I have a friend that has a skunk that's descented if you really want to see a skunk.
That's just a cat.
Well, yeah, it does. She has a fox, too, though.
I would like to play
Like,
it. I
she
would
actually
like to play
has,
it. The
she
fox.
has she has the permits because you have to have permits. You can legally own them here, but you have to have permits and they have to have like a certain type of housing. But she has both. She has a skunk and she goes to Skunk Fest down in Ohio and takes her
my
skunk down to
gosh.
Ohio. I'm not even kidding.
Oh my gosh, there's like Skunkorama, and
Yep.
you just show off your skunks.
Yep, that's exactly what they
Wow.
do. They all go down there with their pet skunks, and it's like a dog show, but with stinky kitties.
You guys have chipmunks.
We have chipmunks
I've
and
never
ground
seen
squirrels.
a chipmunks. I mean, Chip and Dale don't count.
We do, and we have them in the yard, and the dogs chase them. If you actually watch sometimes when we let the dogs out, you'll see them run across the front of our garage, and there's a hole right at the edge of the garage that they go down in the ground.
Oh, that's cool. See,
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't seen that yet.
I have not. You have
Yeah.
to show it to me next time. Next time you let him out, let me run out first. Because I've got questions. I got
What are
questions
you
for
gonna do?
Alvin.
Catch it?
Yeah.
You're like, I caught it. What
Oh my
do I do?
gosh.
As it's like gnawing on your
Oh,
fingers.
ask him. Do you know Alvin or Simon or Theodore? Are they related to
Are
you?
you famous?
He's like, we're not all related. So other than that, it's been a lot of, like I said, pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we have to get back to.
Yeah, we'll get back to that in a few minutes. And over your time, because you've done this for what we would say, 17
years. We've been doing it ever since we got married. The very first house we lived in, the very first year we got married, we did 13 pumpkins just because I wanted to.
Right.
Like it was, I don't know, it was fun. And I think it was just 4 of us. I think it was Jamie and I and Greg, and then Greg's cousin Chad. I think we're the only ones. And we did them all in one night. We did 13 all in one night with the 4 of us. And everybody loved it, and I don't know why. Like the next year, we're like, let's do it again, and then we haven't stopped. I think it was Eric said, he goes, one day you'll get tired of this and you'll quit. I'm like, I don't know if I don't know. I might. I'm sure eventually I'll get tired of it.
Yeah, you've carved like over 1,000 pumpkins. Okay, so did it just barely ramp up each year, or the next year was it straight to 100?
So we started with like 12, and then I think we did around 20 for a couple of years, and then it ended up after we moved from the one house to the second house that we bought, and that house had a much longer front yard, so we were able to do a lot more. And it was like, if we only do 20, it's not going to look right. So I think we had like 40 that year, and then somehow it became okay, every year we're just going to add 1. So we'll do 40, then we'll do 41, then we'll do 42, and that was kind of like the goal. And we're like, and someday maybe we'll get to 100. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's that we had more people that wanted to help or what happened. All I remember is we went from 40 to like 77, and then that was it. It was like after 77 we just kept going
the
up.
The lid's off now.
And then we hit 100 here. I think like the second or third year we lived here, we did 100 pumpkins, and now that's like the limit. My yard can't hold more than that. We would have to build like stadium pumpkin seating to actually like display them. So because we can't really do that, 100 is about the limit. And 100 really, for how small our yard is and for how many people show up, 100 is it's enough. It's enough. We could do a third tier because like we tier them. We have 2 levels, but 100's enough.
I think that's ridiculous. I think people are satisfied when that number. It's either 100 or the next step is 500.
Yeah.
Anything in between is not going to get any more love than what you have.
Yeah, 100%. 100 is the perfect number, and we start 5 days ahead of time, because if we start any sooner ahead of time, the pumpkins will start to rot. So we kind of have to like balance that and everything. And the 5 days, I think if we tried to do this for any longer than 5 days, we would all kill each other.
Yeah, that's about the max, and a lot of stuff goes into it.
Yeah,
there's people that sit upstairs and they're just gutters.
Yep.
And they just gut pumpkins.
Yep.
With tools.
Yeah, power tools, sawzalls, and pumpkin gutters,
and as fast as you can gut them.
Yeah, as fast as we're carving, they're gutting them and bringing them down, and
it's still even more difficult than what it sounds like, because you have to get your pattern, you have to cut your pattern out, but then you have to go pick the pumpkin that matches the shape of the pattern.
Yes.
When I was trying to do that Lightning McQueen, it took a long time before I found the right pumpkin. Now, you have to dig through a lot of pumpkins, people. And pumpkins smell not like pumpkins. They smell weird.
They smell like cows.
Is that what it is?
Well, yeah, because they use cow manure to fertilize the field.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, like, remember I was telling you the last day we picked pumpkins, none of the pumpkins got cleaned. Jamie and I usually will take, and we wear gloves when we do it, and we knock all the dirt off because otherwise it smells like pumpkin. And some of them smell like rotting pumpkins because we have a couple of those too.
Oh yeah, we accidentally picked up a couple of whammies.
Yeah.
They were kind of just mush inside, and you just kind of put those to the side.
The one I did last night, the last pumpkin I carved last night, has an inside rot spot. Like the outside is completely firm and you can't see it, but the inside of it had a really soft spot. So when I was using the pumpkin gutter to thin the wall of it, I'm like, if I touch this, it's gonna go right through.
Gonna go mush. Yeah, when we picked up the pumpkins, they were just laying in the ground, and a lot of them had been eaten by deer. Is it deer?
Yep.
Just a couple little chunks out of it here and there.
The deer kick them open to get to the inside.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jamie was looking at one last night, I think, or this morning, and he thinks that there's some bear claw marks on there.
Yeah. So pumpkins, as they grow, and we've seen people do this, as they're growing while they're still green, you can like scrape into them with like a nail, and you can like write your name in them, and they'll scar. So that pumpkin has like a scar on the side of it from something that ripped at it, and then it wasn't fully formed. It wasn't done growing yet. So now it has a scar, and it looks like that could have been a bear claw. It could have been something trying to, because there's bears out there where we got those from. So
I don't know, I'm gonna look at it. It was pretty big on there too. I might just take the Dremel tool and thin it out a little bit,
right.
And then I think that might just be a bear carved pumpkin.
I have a pattern that looks like a
that's what I was thinking. So I'm like, it's already and
we do
done
have
for you.
we have the dragon that we're apparently making a dragon now that we've got the 2 eyes and the nose and whatever else they did yesterday. Some friends of ours have this idea to do a dragon, but that could be like a torn open pumpkin we could put with the dragon.
It might have to be. Thanks, bear.
Thanks for the inspiration.
Yeah. Thanks, Winnie. But it's cool, like I said, so 2 people are upstairs gutting as fast as you can.
Yep.
And everybody else is downstairs carving with various tools and stuff, and it's a production.
It is. It's very much a huge production. People don't realize how much work goes into it.
Right.
I mean, and we start at what, 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. We don't quit till after midnight.
Yeah, you have to figure out how to feed people. A lot of management.
Yes.
A lot of management.
I always tell people, like, I always feel like anybody that's going to come over and help us, like, I should have food and things like that so that people don't have to worry about it. They can just come over here, carve pumpkins, eat some food, and be done. So I always try to make sure everybody's got food and that everything just kind of falls together. Over the years, I've gotten a little bit better at that, but it's usually it's like day 1 and 2 I cook food. Day 3 it's like, okay, I don't want to do anything, let's just do pizza. By day 4 I'm like, I don't have time to make food, there's so much going on, we're just now from now on out it's like we'll buy things. And then Halloween night my mom makes 2 big things of chili.
Oh, awesome.
So we just
we'll
have chili. So it's warm and it's hot because we're going to be in and out of the cold. So it's like the perfect thing to have.
Right. And you have the perfect place to do it. We're down in the basement here.
Yes.
It's warm.
Yeah.
It's perfectly spaced.
Yep.
If you get tired, there's a television and a pool table right there. You can take a break, play some pool real quick, sit back down, figure out your other patterns. Or we run upstairs and print out patterns.
We got a sink down here. The first house we started doing this in, we did everything in the kitchen. And then we only did it at that house for the 2 years. And then when we moved into the other house, there was no heat in that basement. We did have a bathroom down there, which was nice, but there was no heat down there. It was a very cramped basement area. And it was like a basement. Like this, we could finish this and really turn. I mean, this is already more like a living space. The first basement was not a true Michigan basement. Those of you that know what that is, it was more of it was a scary basement. It was like a horror movie basement.
Right. You don't want to go down there. It's creaky when you come down the stairs and stuff like that.
We had nothing down there. Like here we have, like you were saying, all the stuff. That basement was nothing but storage. And then we would, in one little area is where we would go down and carve pumpkins. And it was cold. Every year it was cold and we'd have to bring heaters down there. And yeah, it was nothing like this. When we came and looked at this house, those of you that may not know, there's actually a full kitchen setup in this basement. Countertops, cabinets, sink. There's a stove, a refrigerator, everything
it's a mini
down
house
here. Yeah, the people actually put the kitchen in down here before they finished, and they lived down here while they finished the upstairs part of the house. But one of the things that we commented on when we looked at this house was that how great this basement would be for pumpkin carving.
And so it was, actually.
Yep.
One of the strange thing is, in California, when we carve our pumpkins, they're moldy and rotten in a day or two. Like, you really have to carve. You can't carve it on the weekend.
Yeah.
And have Halloween be on a Wednesday or something like that, because they're just mold. It's just mold in here. Here, they don't mold.
No. Well, you have to treat it because it's perishable, just like food.
Right.
You know, it is food. You have to keep it cold. So the benefit to the way we do things is the garage is like a big refrigerator. It's not warm in the garage. That's why the pumpkins have to go back out in the garage, and that's why they stay in the garage. They're not in direct sunlight. They're out there in the cold, so they don't they won't change a lot. Now, when we get to Halloween night and we're unwrapping and we're setting up, you'll be able to tell which pumpkins we did on day one versus the pumpkins we did the day before. Yeah, they're not going to be bad, but you will be able to tell.
Gotcha. Okay.
They'll just be a little bit stiffer. But we wrap all our pumpkins in saran wrap. And the reason we do that is, again, you have to treat it like food. If you can close all those openings you've put in the pumpkin, it makes them last longer.
Okay.
We've done things in the past, like we used to spray like a Lysol on them.
Right.
But if we spray them with Lysol, we can't feed them to animals afterwards.
Yes.
Because like pigs will eat them, chickens will eat them. People will want the pumpkins afterwards. So we stopped doing all of those treatments because we didn't want to just be throwing them away. But we've done that years and years ago. We used to, when we didn't do as many, you can wipe all the edges of the cuts with Vaseline, and it'll stop, like you saw when you cut them, everything's wet. Mm-hmm. If you wipe all the edges with Vaseline, it seals all those edges back up.
Oh,
and
so
the pumpkins will last
brown. I'm going to do that to my
and then if you have a pumpkin that's wilty, you can take a 5-gallon bucket and you put it in a 5-gallon bucket for about 30 minutes, take it out, and the pumpkin soaks up all the water from the bucket. Yep, and it makes it so if they dry up, not if they're moldy. If they're moldy, there's not a lot you can do. But if they actually dry and start to shrivel, you can put them in a bucket of water, and after about 10 minutes, or about half an hour, they turn back into pumpkin.
I have never heard of that before. Mm-hmm. Wow.
We've learned all the tricks over the years.
Yeah, I can tell you're a pro at this for sure. And then it's interesting because I'm used to tossing away the guts, but the guts are like a commodity.
Yeah.
People are asking you for guts.
Yeah, chickens eat them. They're really good for compost in fields and stuff. People will churn them back into the ground because it's good nutrients for the dirt. So the next time they plant the field, because as you grow things and you grow like all your farm stuff, all your plants and stuff, the more you use the soil, the more nutrients and things you take out of the soil. So over time, like if you plant tomatoes every year in the same spot all the time, eventually your tomato plants aren't going to look as good because you're just taking all the nutrients out of the soil.
Right. Okay.
So you have to be able to put nutrients back in the soil, which can be lawn clippings, leaves, like we were saying, the pumpkin guts and stuff like that. You can put that back in there and it feeds the dirt, which sounds really silly and a lot of people don't understand that, but it feeds the dirt. It's also why I don't know if you notice it as much where you're at, but farmers out here rotate fields. So like a field might be hay for 2 years and then it's corn and then it's something else. It's because they're pulling different nutrients out of the ground.
Okay. And then eventually they'll put new stuff in the ground.
Yeah.
And then it'll.
And I totally didn't learn that on my own. Jamie told me all that.
He's smart. You have to, if you want to live out here, you have to have a Jamie. And there's lots of Jamies here. Yeah. It's not like there's just one. There's lots of, everybody does their own stuff, fixes their own stuff. There's lots of fixing tools, lots of fixing parts. Yeah. Lots of stuff. I don't see too many car garages. I don't, where I'm at, there's a car garage to have your car fixed every corner.
I feel like that's why the guy that we normally get pumpkins from too didn't actually have them this year, because he would rotate his fields every year. Like when we would go out there, like the pumpkins would be all the way at one end, or they'd be in the middle, or they'd be on the other end. And I think the past couple of years he's rotated them all the way over, and I'm hoping that this year was just a skip year where he didn't plant them this year, and hopefully he'll go back to it next year. Wow. Because he was rotating his fields.
That's so cool. That is so cool. And the lady was trying to convince me that the reason the insides of the eggs are orange is because the chickens eat the pumpkin feed. She had me going for just a second, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Have you ever seen homegrown chicken eggs versus store-bought chicken eggs?
I'm sure I have, but I don't recall.
I was gonna say, she's not lying to a point. The ones that you buy in the store, a lot of the times, unless you get fully organic, grass-fed, free-roam chickens, sometimes they'll have the same coloring. But if you buy just regular eggs, the yolks are very, very, very pale yellow compared to your backyard chicken eggs. Like when you have chickens in your backyard, it's pumpkin orange.
How come?
I don't know. That Jamie could tell me. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that much about chickens, but I'm sure it has to do a lot with what you're feeding them in your own yard versus what they're getting at these big factory farms.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. So before we wrap it up, there's a couple other little things that happen in this town that don't happen in my town.
You're anywhere else.
Anywhere else. There's no gates to the train tracks.
There is, but not on the less busy roads. I think we only have a handful of gates on the train tracks.
The signals, they're not on light posts. and at different times of nights, they like turn into like stop signs.
Yeah, we don't have any sensor lights, so they are all on timers. And at like some of them at 10 o'clock turn into a 4-way flashing light, or they'll turn into just stop lights and caution lights on one side.
Yeah, you know how much time I've wasted and being in the middle of the night and not being able to make a left-hand turn because the sensor doesn't see me sitting there. I'm like, come on, I just want to turn left. You guys don't have that problem anymore.
Nope. I think after midnight you can drive all the way through Alpena without any of the lights stopping you at all. They're all, if you go through the town, it's all caution lights, and that's it.
Yeah, you get through town pretty fast, and the town is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. People are actively taking their boats out of the water and wrapping them in like shrink wrap for the winter, and I always wondered, I just thought they just sat there like the Titanic and they all just froze and then you just come back next year.
Nope, you got to take care of, you got to winterize everything, you got to take gas out of everything, you got to take water out of everything, because the water will freeze. Jamie had to winterize the camper before you got here. He did that. He had to blow air through all the lines, and it blows all the water out of the lines, and you got to put freeze. Okay. Then you got to put antifreeze in it, because if there is any water left, droplets of water will freeze and they'll expand and crack the lines. And
we saw a pile of salt that was like 10 stories tall.
Yep. That was
so crazy. Everything's salty.
Yep. And that's so we don't slide around all winter.
Yeah, that's so cool. I guess it has to come from somewhere, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I like it here. I could see myself trying to live here. Everything would confuse me though. Oh, I was at the store at the Meijer, and the overhead thing comes on. It's like, oh, like deer spray, 2 for 1. And I go over and I'm looking at this deer spray, and there's 2 bins. There's one bin to make you smell like a deer, and then there's one like there's like bathroom stuff to make you like smell like non-human. It's like unhuman smell, and it's like deodorants and shampoos and soaps and clothing that don't have human smells. I don't know who made the clothes, because not humans if it smells like it, but you can make yourself smell like non-human here.
And it's a big thing up here. It is definitely it's a huge tourist thing up here too. A lot of people from downstate will come spend weeks up here just for deer hunting season.
Yeah,
it's a holiday here. Opening day starts November 15th, and I'm not kidding. You won't be here that day, but November 15th is opening day, and everything up here is either closed or it closes early, and then they have like widows weekends because all the guys go hunting, and then the women are pretty weekend. Yeah, and they do all kinds of things. They do all kinds of stuff for that, so that all the girls have something to do while their husbands are gone at deer camp.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. When I was at the store, there's so many animals' pees in bottles. I thought your town just had a sick fetish, right? But apparently it's just for hunting rabbits.
Right? Yeah. It's a big thing up here.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Lots of camouflage stuff. We went to your mall, if that's what you want to call it. It's just a bunch of shops with a roof on it.
Pretty much.
It was a cute little mini mall, and inside there, of course, you could enter to win, like a camouflage quad.
Yeah, it was all camo too.
Yeah. So I would just have hard time adjusting, or things that I didn't realize, like there's stuff to like take the moisture out of the air, like for your closet and your house, like other things besides a dehumidifier.
Yep. Because
that's a thing. So it would be a little bit of a shock for me.
It would. Yeah. It's called a damp rid is what it's called. Is
that what that is?
Yep.
You think I could survive here?
I don't know. No, I think too many people would be willing to take advantage of your gullibleness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be like, so, this guy said this. Is that true?
He said I could be a pilot. That was yesterday's thing. You want to learn to be a pilot? I'm like, boy, do I. And I'm thinking that this guy has got like a small little fantasy island plane, and he's got enough property that's cleared out that he's got a little runway, and we're going to go, and he's going to let me pilot a plane. But apparently being a pilot out here,
it's not the same.
Means you stand behind the dude cutting wood with an axe, and you pick it up and you pilot. So
that's what it is.
But I'm enjoying it, guys. I'll be out here for a while, enough that we'll do a whole nother podcast before we leave.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be able to finish up Dan's adventures here in Alpena, Michigan, and I'm loving it so far, people. It is just so beautiful. It is just so nice. The people here are great. Everybody's so nice. Everybody's nice to me, hair up or not. Like I thought that they'd be a little bit more shocked by me, but they're intrigued. But they're super nice.
Yeah,
they're super nice.
I think people up here like we were saying, everybody's a little bit slower. People up here don't get offended as easily. And even for stuff like that, I think that's pretty much what it is. Like, people see your hair up and they more than likely want to talk to you. Rather, like, they're not going to be like, oh, that guy's weird, we're going to walk the other way. Right. They're like, oh, that guy's different, I want to talk to him. Like, it's like we have that going for us. We're like, oh, that's different, maybe I want to talk to them.
Yeah, and everybody makes you feel like you've known them forever.
Yeah, I do know a lot of the people
You know
up here
everybody.
that I've known forever.
I'm at self-checkout like an hour ago, and you're talking to some dude next to you.
The insurance agent.
Yeah, it's your insurance agent. We drive up the street, and you're like, there's the dentist, there's the doctor's house, there's the lawyer's house,
Yep.
there's the pharmacist's house, there's the house for the guy that owns the ice cream restaurant, which seems a little odd in a town that it's always cold in, but it's okay. There's no soup restaurant. I can move out here and start a soup restaurant.
There you go. They'd probably go over well.
Mm-hmm.
Bread Bowls restaurant.
No, we decided it would be called Soup There It Is.
Soup There It
Yes,
Is.
that's the name of the restaurant. It's already been decided, and we would have good soup. So I will be checking with you guys next week. And for those of you guys that aren't following us on Facebook, I've been posting a lot of photos each day of just kind of hanging out here of the trip. There's a thread there, so you guys go check that out. I'll throw up my White Claw pumpkin. I loved it. That was so fun.
It was pretty good.
It's gonna be somebody's favorite.
It's gonna be popular. It will be popular. It'll be popular because it was the thing. We always try to do a few pumpkins that were the thing for that.
And definitely the claw. The claw was. I'm excited. We're gonna have to take out all those pumpkins, set them up on the things. How many people are gonna come by?
Well, it's us. Yay! So, like, Greg works till 5, and we have to have everything set up by 5. So, hi, Dan.
Oh no, that's going to be the fun part. I'm willing to do the anythings, obviously. I mean, how many people are going to stop by to see this?
A lot.
Yeah.
We probably had over 1,500 people last year.
Oh wow, and your town's not that big.
Yeah, the problem is if it rains. If it rains, it'll be a lot less people getting out of their cars, which is my favorite part. So I'm hoping that it doesn't rain. Like, I like it when people come out and we stand out there and talk to people. Like, I talk to people all night long. Usually by the end of the night, I can't feel my legs because it's so cold. My knees are killing me. My feet are killing me. And Jamie stands out there and goes, "You have to come inside and sit down for 5 minutes." Like, I stand outside the whole night, and no matter how cold it is, I'll just put layers on, and I run in the garage and I warm my hands up when they start to hurt, and then I go back outside. Like, or I'll sit inside and I'll watch for people to come, and then I go outside as soon as they get here.
Oh, that's going to be so fun. There'll be people sitting out in their cars because they can tune into the radio station and hear the audio of the light show. Yep. Does everybody on your block trick or treat? Like everybody's. Oh, I can't wait. I haven't safely done trick-or-treating where it's been fun in a lot of years. So I think at one point I might have to take a lap up and down the street just to see what kind of candy you guys are giving out here in Michigan, you know?
There's some of my neighbors do full candy bars around here.
Oh man, there was always talks and lores of the neighborhood that does full candy bars in our town, and I don't think I've ever been I've actually had one, so that'll be good.
I don't do full candy bars. We do good candy bars, but I don't do full ones because we, like, trick-or-treating here ends at 7:30, I think, but we try to keep our candy all night long.
Right,
because people come. And what will happen is during trick-or-treating hours, we'll have a little bit slower of people. Like, it'll be a little bit slower pace, and it's a lot of just trick-or-treaters and people coming in. But about 7 o'clock, 7:30, when trick-or-treating ends, everybody that's leaving town, everybody that's going home, everybody that brought their kids in to see their grandparents comes here.
Okay.
And that's when it gets insane.
There's questions now I have out. You mean trick-or-treating ends for us at 7:30 or for the town?
For the town.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So at our house, there is no time. It's not even dark yet. People are knocking at the doors. I've had people knock at the doors after 11 o'clock at night. Not only that, I have had people come back the next night and knock on our doors and be like, "Hey, do you guys have any extra candy left over?"
Oh my
I'm like, "You're a little early for trick-or-treating for next year." So maybe that's why they do that. I have to put the bench in front of the walkway so to keep the people from coming to my house, because they will come at all hours of the night.
Nope. We have trick-or-treating hours. It is a certain time, and they'll say it all on the news, and it'll be in the newspaper the time that you're supposed to be doing that.
That's so cute.
Yep.
I can't wait. I'm gonna go trick-or-treating during trick-or-treating hours. I don't need a costume. I'll just be me. I'll be me. I'll hand out podcast cards.
There you go.
Which we do have now, guys. We have podcast business cards. They look very, very cute.
We do.
Yes. All right, so let's get out of here so we can go carve some pumpkins. And like I said, I'll be back. I'll be back for another round of podcasting before we leave.
Yep. We will. Now we're gonna go. I have no idea what I'm even carving tonight. Oh no, I do. I have a pumpkin that I started last night. I'm good with pumpkin number 1 for tonight.
I'm gonna carve a pumpkin in my pumpkin.
What is it called? I don't remember what it says on it, but it's got a ghost on it. That's all I remember. I don't even know what I've carved so far.
Oh man, well,
pumpkins.
Stay tuned for more of our adventures. A lot of it's posted on our Instagrams.
Yeah.
A lot of it's posted on the Facebook page. You guys know where to go by now.
Yeah.
You guys know where to go. And on that note, that'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast, live edition. Find us on Instagram and Facebook at CC Mouse Podcast. Leave us a question on SpeakPipe. Nobody hit us up on SpeakPipe this week. I thought somebody would at least SpeakPipe us at CC Mouse Podcast. Rumor has it you like my merch over everybody else's merch, so buy our merch at ccmousepodcast.shop. Go to our YouTube page. Man, our YouTube page is the love.
I know. I gotta work on it a little bit more.
Go to our YouTube page at CC Mouse Podcast. And on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Woot.
Hey, we did a thing in real life.
We did a thing in real life. This is so much easier.
I know, right?
I'll just fly out every week to do the podcast, right?
You're like, you come in for the day, you do the podcast, and you take off. It only takes you like 8 hours to get here.
Yes.
Then you're here for like 2 hours, and then it's 8 hours back. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah. Then I could sit in the middle of, on the way here, it was a drunk guy, and the guy on the other side of me just kept falling asleep on my lap. I was like, oh, it's sleep tight, old man. Sleep tight.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.